The next morning, Pavel Leonov gets into a special van headed for a high-security colony for first-timers. First, the inmate is taken to the quarantine room. Here he is inspected and given prison-issue clothes.
Here's your uniform. Are you size 42 or 43? Yes, that's right. Okay.
Pavel Leonov now has to meet the facility's sanitary conditions. This includes a visit to the barber.
Let's go upstairs.
In the past, all inmates were shaved bald. Nowadays, this is no longer the case. Those behind bars are now even allowed to wear watches. There are no restrictions on correspondence with relatives either.
Here folks work in what's called the industrial zone. There's enough work there. The good thing about the place is that the conditions aren't harsh. Well, they're pretty much the same everywhere, although they're better in some places and worse in others. But people can adapt to any conditions.
Leonov will spend a couple of weeks in the quarantine room. After that, he will join other inmates living in a barracks. At the colony, Leonov will be offered the opportunity to learn a skill of his own choice.
The moment an inmate enters the quarantine room, he becomes aware of a combination of two penal systems, the old one and the new one. The new system is taking shape in line with prison reform. We're planning to turn hostel-type barracks into cells. This will cut down on inmate numbers. Only 2, 4, or 6 inmates will be housed in each cell.
Soon after Leonov arrives at the colony, he's allowed to make his first phone call home. His wife and children have been waiting a long time to hear from him.
Hi, love. How are you? I want to tell you that I'm in correctional colony number 9. I'll send you a letter or give you a call later, when they allow me to.
Pavel Leonov might apply for parole sometime in the future. Meanwhile, Andrei Afanasyev, who is serving his time in another colony, has already asked. Today is crucial. The commission is going to consider his case.
Are you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
What if they don't release you?
I don't know what I'm going to say to my family.
I hope it'll be okay.
The administration includes the colony's top brass and even the priest of the local church. They will consider whether Andrei Afanasyev has mended his ways and is ready to be his own master. The colony's chief warden is the commission chairman. He poses very awkward questions to the inmate.
So your parents will give you a flat, and your wife will help you find a job? What about you? When are you going to do something on your own?
As soon as I'm out.
I think it's time you began providing for your parents and wife.
The court will make the final decision on whether or not Andrei will be set free. The colony's administration concedes that inmates are fully aware of their rights and take a firm stand to defend them.
We need to build dozens of new prisons. We have to install modern equipment to beef up security. And we also have to iron out how sentences are to be served. It has to be more pragmatic, more qualified. We have to reduce the enormous number of prisons in our system as well.
This is a unique colony for women in the Urals. It also houses their young children, although convicted mothers and their kids live apart. Many of the little ones have been born behind bars. Babies live in the facility's kindergarten until they're 2 years old. While their mothers serve their terms, they remain in the care of teachers and doctors. Today, the older children are visiting a mini zoo in the colony. At the same time, the mothers feed their babies and take them for a walk.
My son Kirill is 6 months old. He is such a naughty child. Now let's put some clothes on you so we can go for a walk.
Colony staff built a playground for children in the courtyard. But the barking of watchdogs can be heard even here.
He's by my side virtually all day long. Nursing mothers have an edge on all the others. We don't work because we have got no time for that. He'll be 2 years old when my term here comes to an end.
Galina hopes she will not need to tell her son that he grew up in a colony. She would like the boy to have happy memories of friendly teachers rather than barbed wire. Pavel Leonov is one of the new arrivals headed for the high-security colony in the Tver region.
Here it is. Make yourself comfortable.
He has joined other inmates after a quarantine period. Pavel has been issued with bed linen and shown to his bunk bed. Inmates tell him about life inside.
Hello, I'm Andrei.
Hi, I'm Pavel. How are you?
Now it's much better. It's a world apart from how it used to be. When I first turned up here, things were pretty bad. The toilet and the wash basin were out in the courtyard, for instance. Yeah, life is easier now.
Inmates walk about a barracks inhabited by some 100 people. Pavel is going to spend many years in these surroundings.
This is the medical bay, and this is the cloakroom.
The inmates working in the industrial zone leave their belongings here. For some, it's a day off. They watch TV, read books, or play backgammon in the lounge.
Your Honor, the inmate Andrei Afanasyev is here. I'm ready to hear your decision about my possible parole.
Andrei Afanasyev's future now depends on a court ruling. Judges will soon convene for a special session in the colony.
We have come to the conclusion that inmate Afanasyev is ready for parole because he is firmly on the way to being reformed. Further rehabilitation is possible without him being isolated from society. Court adjourned.
24 hours later, Andrei Afanasyev will leave the colony. The long-awaited call home, the first after the court ruling.
Hi.
Hi, Mum. Court's ruled in my favor. They should let me go tomorrow. Thanks a lot for helping and supporting me all this time.
I'm very happy and I know everything you've gone through. But now make sure you get home safe and sound.
Andrei is about to set off. Those many months of confinement are now behind him.
Hey, how are you?
It's like a miracle.
This is the first day of Pavel Leonov's duties in the colony. All inmates here must do a job of one kind or another. Pavel has been assigned to the sewing workshop. Here inmates make things ordered by various enterprises and get paid for their work.
Let it go to and fro twice, not more than 3 centimeters. You do that to each knot, And here you make the seam. That's all.
What about the lock?
No, you don't need anything there. Put it on the end.
A teacher from a vocational school sits side by side with Leonov. The inmate picks up the practical skills fairly quickly.
These medical bands are for cats and other pets. The administration allows people to take the job of their choice. I thought making such things would be the easiest.
After his shift, Pavel returns to his barracks. He will stay there for 17 years. And throughout that time, all he will see from the window is a tall fence surrounded by barbed wire. No doubt he will reflect on his past and try to find a way to start his life anew.